What is even up? It's your boy Crabman. Here with my boy Heckenstein. That one. And my lovely wife in Bali. Who has asked not to be referred to anymore as my wife. Welcome to the Hypnotic Hootout. How are we all doing? Everyone good? Having a good time, a good week, I hope. We did? You?
Yeah. I'm vibing. Can you see it from my slight head movement?
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Hi there, Jan.
Hi, Bali. How are you?
Oh my gosh. I'm okay. Just hanging out with this crazy one. You see what you did? By forgetting to say my wifey, you just messed up the entire thing and you forgot to say, welcome to Hootout. And then you like muddled it up and then...
See, that's when you mess with my thing.
Your feng
It's
shui.
okay to try
My feng
different
shui.
things.
Oh, jeez.
You don't have to stay with the first formula we used in the very first Hootout all the way through.
That's how that works.
Okay.
You gotta build a brand identity.
Wow. Yeah, Brand.
Oh, you're so much sharper than me. I see it on the big screen.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
So what have you been up to?
What I've been up to?
I saw you stream a lot.
Yeah, I've been working, streaming. It's been a fun week. I made some progress.
Don't say so.
In the last 3 levels now. Just defeated the Mummy Queen.
Nice.
But yeah, found a couple of new bugs and problems I had to fix in between. And just like the last thing I did was I defeated the mummy and I was, okay, let's destroy the vases to my left. And the fireball didn't spread right anymore because I changed something there. But I gave up. I said, okay, well, I defeated the mummy. I'll deal with the fireball sometime else. So no new update today, but still progress.
Nice. Hi, Vendesir.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I saw you post the updated enemy range tiles. They look great.
Right, they look good. It was pretty easy.
Sure.
Yeah, it was mostly like trying to, I don't know, find the confidence to just try it and see how it looks. And then it looked great, and well, now we got that settled. So
nice.
All our colorblind or I don't know how to call like the red-green weakness, if there's a different term in English, but they should all be now able to distinguish between the enemy walk tiles and their own. So that's good.
That is good.
Yeah, speaking of good things, my mom was released from the hospital yesterday.
Nice.
Well, sometime in this week. I think it was yesterday. Days is still a little bit hazy, but yeah, that's great.
Nice.
I got like a picture. Wait, let me send you the picture, and then we can look at it.
Sure.
That's gonna show us how she is.
Shows her head. So I don't know if we've talked. We didn't talk too much about it, and I think that looks metal as fuck.
Wow, it does indeed. Hold on, I gotta put it in the
She
other
looked
one.
like she could be like extra in Mad Max or something like that.
Let's
Wow.
see, browser.
It was a little bit of a crazy week. So my mom had what's it? A tumor in her head, and that's, I mean, really, if you really think about it, this is the crazy shit here. So my mom has like a walnut-sized tumor in her head, and it's pretty much in the middle of the brain, around the nerve for seeing, and I think above the smelling thingy.
Uh-huh.
So they had to cut up like her. I'm sorry, it's grimy. It's a little bit grimy now, but up her, like, as you can see, like the skin there. They had to like stretch it out, and then like, I don't know if they drilled a hole in her skull or how they did that, and then they put some kind of like instrument in there, like through the brain, and then they somehow managed to extract like the tumor around the nerve that's for seeing, and apparently it was pretty complicated, and I'm talking like 7 or 8 hours they worked on her. Just imagine that you're like you are like a doctor working in the brain of another person for 7 or 8 hours straight, and you have to be concentrated. Like every little mistake can have like catastrophic circumstances for that person. But they managed to do it. They said they didn't really hurt any of the stuff around there. So the brain, I don't know how to call it in English, the synapses around there. And they apparently managed to get pretty much all, or they got all they could see out from the tumor. So maybe it will not come back even. And and then they got it out, closed her up, and well, she, like the first couple of days, she saw double, so she couldn't like put anything on a table. She was hospitalized for I think a week, and so slowly like the two pictures came back together again. She still can't really read.
Yeah.
But other than that, and like her face is numb, it's pretty fine. They said that just like touching the nerves in the brain, just that is really aggravates the nerves, and really, and then like they had to push them aside to get there, and that's crazy. Like imagine that, right?
Yeah.
And somehow it worked all out, and then they stapled her shut again. She's got this neat undercut. She always like my ex-girlfriend always wanted to make undercut with me, and my mom was always like, no undercut. That won't look good. And now she had herself one. We tried to convince her to have like a red dragon tattoo or something above it, but she's not having any of it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but she's here again. Everyone's happy. She's a bit slow. Every time like she stands up, she has to stay there a while until like her vision is like caught up with the change. But other than that, she seems to be fine. I mean, she still takes like painkillers against like headaches and stuff. And I think she will have to. I think she said she used to take like 4 or 5 a day, and today she only took 1. So that's an improvement there too.
Nice.
So thanks, Wendesil. I'll tell her. Thus, it was a great week for me.
Nice.
You know what they say, that famous saying, our thoughts and prayers go out to you and your family.
Mhm.
Yeah. No, but on a serious note, yeah, it's just
I think
good news.
I think she had quite a few people giving out thoughts and prayers while she was under, and yeah, it worked out great. Somehow I managed to more or less like tune it out completely. Like my father was a bit of a mess. He was really stressed. I also heard like what exactly they were doing, but I kind of like they told us like how and what can go wrong and all that stuff. Told her I think the day before she went under, and then she told us in the morning, or was it evening? I think it was evening or midday, something like that. And I know that I was told that, and I know that if I really think about it, I could like uh, get it again. But somehow I just like put it aside, never thought about it again. Just was like, that's gonna be all. Everything's gonna be fine, and if not, well, I can't do anything anyway. So I will grieve and be anxious if something goes wrong, and just don't really worry about it now. And somehow that worked out fine for me.
Nice.
Wow, heavy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no. Oh.
Yeah, let's go to some nicer topics, huh? I've heard you had a little movie marathon over there.
Don't I look it? I look like I just got spewed out by a 3-day.
We literally just got done like 20 minutes before this.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Wait. You
Yes,
started
we watched.
yesterday, right? Did you start yesterday?
We started 2 days ago.
2 days. Okay.
Yes.
Well, tell me about it.
Yeah, we weren't quite as dedicated to like getting. We were watching Harry Potter. So that's 20 hours. And
The extended?
the extended of the first two, the theatrical of the rest. I don't know if there's also an extended of everything. But yeah, noticed it in some spot, but I couldn't like say like how much longer they actually were. It felt like there were 1 or 2 scenes where I noticed, hey, I haven't seen that before, but they were like really brief additions. So I don't know. But yes, that sure was, I mean, it was interesting for me. How was it for you? This is the first time, basically, you've really heard anything about Harry Potter. When you said you've kind of watched one before.
Heard.
Like the actual story, not that Harry Potter exists, but like what Harry Potter is.
Gosh. Yeah. We had his sister here who, yeah, literally explained everything because he's already kind of also forgot some other stuff. I don't know. I feel. How do I feel? I've just been thinking about it, thinking about what I'm gonna say to you guys, and the first 3, and of course, my first encounter with Potter was when I went to see it at the cinema, the third one, Azkaban. Yeah. But heaven sworn that I'd never go and see it. I went with a Swiss friend who was in South Africa. And of course, he then said something towards he's disappointed. It's not the same as the book. And of course, I didn't know anything, and I never was introduced to that type of world. I'm okay. I'm
So not interested. Like I have the English book here, like the first one in English.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Right.
I saw it in the movies.
Well, the books are really good. The books are really good. I mean, at least they were the last time I read them. I really enjoyed it. They were really quick to read. I swear I wouldn't read them. I was completely anti Harry Potter when it started, because it was this phase of my life where I was against everything that's popular. Still in this
Still in that
phase, I
phase,
think. But
I'm always gonna be in that phase, but yeah.
I try to get out.
Or sneakily be like, I've seen it, but I don't. Now I know about it. Take, for instance, Lion King. Everybody went on about it. I honestly probably saw it for first time ever 4 years ago. And I don't remember what happens. I just remember Nansegonyama, and that's about it. The rest I like, and that's because it's so popular. Same goes with, I've seen the trailers, so to me it feels like all the 8 movies that I've just seen, I've seen them somewhere. And maybe because I'm so overloaded with it.
Osmosis, right?
Huh?
Cultural osmosis, just
Yeah.
being around it, so you really kind of.
And maybe because I'm so overloaded with it now, I haven't had the time to let it sink. I don't know what,
Did you have a good time?
There's some moments, not gonna lie. There's some moments where the first 3 childlike for me that I just couldn't identify. The fourth,
3, or did you say the first 3 movies or just the third?
no, the first 3 movies.
Yeah.
Well, even fourth. There was nothing. I didn't identify with anything, and that's where we most paused for
Trash talk.
for fact finding, for learning who's grown old, who hasn't, who's died, who has whatever, just to keep us going. That's why it took us forever. I mean, if it was that interesting, I guess we would be at it for longer. I mean for lesser time.
Yes.
Yeah. There were too many pauses, but then things started changing. On the 5th one, we had, it was few. He even went and changed his ratings on some, what is it, IMDb. Yeah. So
needed updating.
Constant work, right?
And I still couldn't
take the first 2 either. I don't know if it's. I think the first 2 I really disliked because it was really child's movie, and I'm not a child anymore. I mean, in some aspects at least. And the third, I don't even remember the third, the fourth. At some point, it got darker and more interesting, but it dipped at the end again, right?
No, it was the first time on the 5th and the 6th that I didn't yawn or wanted to go to bed quickly. It was just, it was okay. As I said, funny moments. People changing their ratings. Again, it's just what it is. I was offered to read the books again. Well, not again, for the first time. And I'm still not interested. It was okay. It was a phase. I went through it, and I'm glad I went through it now instead of then. Because again, from where I'm coming from, we don't have those fantasy. We don't have the luxuries of books. And I'm not saying it like boo-hoo-hoo, we don't have the luxuries, but Harry Potter is, people have other things to think about than Harry Potter. And how rich he is, and how many free books he gets. And I don't know. Yes, and the UK comes off as very diverse in casting. But again, no, I mean, generally, there's more people there, and these are all the people that they were probably colonized by the British Empire. But none other than that, there's really nothing. There are no great black people, great anything. So it's like, yeah. So people of color, even. So yeah, I'm okay with that. Yeah, there's no Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, that type of dreamy. And believe you me, we have our own Harry Potters and our own Lord of the Rings. Yeah, it's called witchcraft and all kinds of things. Just they're no wizards or yeah, dragons. We have brooms. We do have brooms too that fly in the night. But yeah. Yeah, there's it's nice escapism. That's all I can say. Yeah.
Done?
I'm done. I think I'm done. Ugh, I think I'm done.
So, I thought it was really interesting. Because, I mean, back in the day, I love Harry Potter. The books are excellent, and also the audiobook that we have, the German audiobook, is wonderful. Read by Rufus Beck. That's kind of like the defining voice for me of Harry Potter. And I loved that as a child. This is like one of the few books that I even read in class because I couldn't wait. Like I would have that like on my desk between my folders, and then always move my my pencil box back and forth to read one page at a time and not pay attention. So super into it. And then of course when the movies came out, I think I was 13 and loved them. Loved the first two. Also thought the third was pretty good, but then hated the fourth, and that hasn't changed. Terrible movie. Like I don't even understand how that happened. It's like it's just terrible. It's legitimately terrible. Everything about it is bad. I don't think there's a single redeeming moment in that. It does that annoying thing.
Same actors are in there, right? They did their job. No?
Yeah. Well, it's also not the greatest casting overall, but so it does this annoying thing where random stuff happens and then afterwards it's explained what just happened. So you see the other schools. It's the fourth one is the one with the championship
Tournament?
the Goblet of Fire. And you see the other schools that are competing arriving, and afterwards you're getting explained, oh, other schools are coming because there's going to be a tournament. Like you see the thing first, you get to be confused, and then you find out what it is. And that's the entire movie. Something happens that you don't understand, then it gets explained after the fact, and that's just no fun to watch at all. But yeah, the first ones I liked because they felt to me like the books. Especially the first two, which were very child-friendly. And had sort of that magical look. I mean, the third one is where it gets dark. That's the werewolf and everything, and the Dementors and all that creepy shit. But the first two, they have that kind of comfy magic glow to them. And I used to really like that. I did not like the rest of the movies that much. Although the 7-1, that was, I really enjoyed that again because I had kind of that road trip vibe when they travel around trying to find the Horcruxes. But now on rewatch, the first three movies are terrible. Like legitimately awful. There's like zero... You know the difference like between plot and story? Like the plot is basically the beats of what happens and the story is what connects them and in between. And those, they are all plot, no story at all. Like you have no character moments. You only have this happens, then this happens, then this happens. And at no point do you get to connect to the characters. You don't find out how anybody feels about anything. You don't get to see them be friends. It's like all just, it's basically like the synopsis of the book. And so, of course, knowing the books intimately, that was fine when I first saw them. But now with a bit more distance, it's So I'm not surprised that you don't connect this and are like, oh no, I don't need to. But basically, you have seen nothing of the story so far. And I was actually really surprised then when we got to, well, the first couple movies, they're all different directors. I think the first two are Chris Columbus. Then it's Cuarón, however you pronounce that. The guy from, what was it called? Children of Men and Gravity. Even he made a terrible movie. I don't know why. The fourth, Mike Newell, who also did The Prince of Persia. Also terrible. Terrible. But then the rest is made by David Yates, and that's actually, you really see that the series needed that, because he actually knows how to make a movie. And the fifth was such a revelation. I have to see it again, because I don't know if I only loved it because it's not the fourth one. But it was actually like a story that you could track. It was after the death of the other kid that is in the tournament, Cedric Diggory, Edward from Twilight. And Voldemort coming back and everything. And so the fifth one is basically about that trauma and the PTSD that Harry deals with. And you actually can follow that emotion. For the first time, it feels like you actually get to see how he feels about anything. And you get to see them be friends and joke around and first kisses and stuff like that. And it's fun. You get to hang out with the characters for the first time. And that was so good. So now that's my favorite. And then it kind of falls off again. Then they're still better than the rest of them, but I feel like they lose track of that again. That there's moments in there that are just there to have some action, and it doesn't really connect. There's no connective tissue. There's some. He's still making good movies, but I feel like the script is weak, and it's actually, I'm not surprised at all to learn that the fifth one is the only one in the series written by a different person. The rest is all the same writer. And you can see basically where a competent director comes on board, but still they go back to the terrible writer who then writes stuff that is still well made, but just doesn't do it justice. So yes, one of these days I'm gonna have to remake all of this.
Yeah, I mean, I think we already talked about all the movies the last time I watched them all. It's not that long ago. Yeah, that's such I remember you really liked the third one, and
Not anymore.
that especially the first two, they feel so disjointed, and they really didn't give me the feeling I yearned for from the books. And I'm in the school and the camaraderie and all that stuff.
Yeah, you don't get to be there with them. You basically hear about what they do.
Yeah. I'd still try and convince you in Bali to try one of the books at some point, because for me the Harry Potter stuff started. Again, I was completely against it, and then I just saw the book lying around, and I just opened it in the middle, and I just started reading, and then after a couple of pages, I noticed that I'm really enjoying it, and I can really just read it through, read. So yeah, I started the book from the beginning, and then I read them all. They were all great. I mean, I guess at some point we need to talk about who wrote the books, huh?
Oh, we don't speak of her.
Okay, just ignore that. So don't buy new books, but if you can borrow them,
yes, go to the library.
Try it. If you want to read something that's really, I don't know, comforting, comfort book, I'd say that's it.
I mean, you're gonna read it eventually, because when we have kids, we're gonna read it to them, and then you're gonna get hooked, and then you're gonna be like, oh shit, you were right.
Okay.
But I thought you said we're not having kids, so I won't have to read this.
Not in the next couple of years, but eventually.
Damn it.
The time will come.
Yeah, I know.
You will learn what you missed out on, and that's fine.
Yeah, and I'm okay with that, right? I'm just I generally just say no. And yeah, right now it's a strong no. It's a strong resistance.
Yeah, just say no. I really, you really took these anti-drug lessons and applied them to everything.
Yeah, so no. No.
And should you at some point like feel like this is like there is something you could maybe read in that direction, you can still think about it. I'm not gonna try and convince you now to start reading them right away, but they're surprisingly good. That's all. Yeah.
So here's what I did. I watched Troy.
Oh, okay. Why?
Well, when it came out, I don't know anything about Troy. It was like, yeah, okay. So I go to the movie house and I watch it when it comes out, and um, needless to say, throughout after that, I came across a Homer Eliot,
Mhm.
and I enjoyed reading that book tremendously so until the last few pages where he's about to lose his life, and I don't know, I haven't read it because I'm like until I don't know, maybe I lose memory of the movie or something. It's just like it's weird. So I think this might happen with these books.
But he's not dying, right? In the book Iliad, that's happening before the Odyssey, right? So he has to survive, no?
I don't know what happens in the end, but some fight or something. It was a long time ago. It's still somewhere in
Okay.
the end of the three,
Oh,
like the
I'm done.
paragraph. I don't know what happens.
Is Odysseus in the movie? Ah, there he goes.
I thought so because of his.
Yeah, he was lagging.
Wait, yeah, I've
He
got
was
Iliad.
lacking. But I mean, in the movie Troy, is
That's
Odysseus
not
in it?
fixed.
No, but what are we? Am
So
I
where are you?
mistaken in characters or something? Or
No, I'm just. There he is.
Here.
Hello. Still a bit
Hi.
slow and. No, there you are.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on.
I could see you
Doesn't seem to be
dwindling
fixed,
away.
huh?
That's not the point, okay? Because clearly I'm not gonna get into that. I have a thing of forgetting. All I know is that I didn't finish that book because I know exactly. Well, yeah, I kind of stuffed it under the Trojan horse and they getting into the houses and stuff like that. Well, the castle, and that's about it. So I don't know what happens afterwards. Because I thought that's what I saw in the movie. Or it read like that.
I'm not even sure what the movie is about. Just know that everyone really said it's a bad movie. And Brad Pitt's playing someone there. That's all I know.
Achilles.
Achilles. All
Yeah.
right. Yeah, I've already read the Odyssey and I enjoyed it as well, but it really didn't get into it right away. I really had to fight to get used to this language and like the repetitions every time. Like there are so many repetitions. But if you get like the rhythm of it, then it becomes kind of nice to read, and I enjoyed it. So it's not a book I'll read again.
I don't know. I might just get into it. But I'm not, again, me and rereading books. Oof. Yeah.
Same. Only thing I reread is Harry Potter. No, the Harry Potter, I think I reread Thus Spoke Zarathustra because it's basically every time as if you're reading it anew. and Illuminatus, and I think there's some other book. But yeah, I don't reread books either.
So, and then my body is feeling very sad. First day I thought, oh, such a great day. I don't have to exercise. Like I'm gonna have a binge fest. What? Cheat day.
Yeah.
Oh my God. By the end of the evening last night, I was just like, my God. I apart from beautiful, this man makes beautiful food, you know this.
Mm.
We
It's
had
tasty too.
chili,
Curry.
curry. They had,
We made a butter chicken
and I
butter
had,
tofu, I guess.
I had tofu and
With some ridiculously fluffy naan. I have never managed. The whole thing turned out so well. Like, I've never had chicken that tender. Like, literally melting in your mouth. I've never... I hope I can replicate it because I have no idea what I did different. And then the naan turned out so, thick and fluffy and... it was
I know,
so
because
good.
the sister was sitting there saying, put this on there, put that on there. It's like,
Did she?
I don't know. We were all there. That's all I'm saying. That's the
Ah.
difference.
It's the magic of friendship.
Probably.
Yeah. But,
Have you
delicious.
thought about adding like a cooking channel to our Discord? I've seen like the Creative Crowbar Discord has a cooking channel.
Well,
When you haven't really posted music videos in a while, so maybe we need a cooking channel for you to post some more.
what? How to bread butter? How to butter bread? Wow, how did I get that wrong?
How to bread butter. I don't
Yes.
know what's wrong about that.
Yes.
Still a bit loopy from
So,
the last few days.
yeah, no, I feel overwhelmed with all the junk, and I
Yeah.
think I'm ready to seriously now. I'm humbled by all the junk food that I've eaten in the past 2
days, yeah.
No, not even 2 days. Now I'm just talking on a broader note that since festive season, I'm gonna suffer when I get on that mat. So honey, we gotta do something. There's a reason why I love my bananas and my fruit and we can't.
Yeah, it's time. Time to do something about all that.
How are you doing with that? Are you back to your normal state?
Not really. I think I still got like 5 kilo more than when I was here. But mostly I started like really working out 3 days a week again, like rest days in between. Now like Friday, Saturday are 2 rest days in a row, and then I get like really into it and worked out fine for I think like more than 2 months now, and I feel like pretty good, pretty fit, feeling good, and because we eat meat here a lot for for the reason that my parents are just like old school about that, and they stopped eating like sausage like to every like meal in the morning and all that stuff. So they all already reduced it, but we basically eat meat every day. So I get lots of protein. So I don't know. I feel buffer than before, but I'm still not sure if it's not just in my mind. But at least I feel fine. So
Okay.
Nice.
What did you want to say?
Did I want to say something?
I don't know.
When? To what? I forgot.
Yeah.
In that case, I've been watching stuff too.
What?
Yes.
Tell us all about it.
Well, we're gonna go good, not good, great. So
Nice.
first, I think yesterday, the day before, I watched We Summon the Darkness because I just spontaneously felt like some horror slasher thingy movie, and that was a nice movie. Solid 7 out of 10. Fun, not too gory, but like uncomfortable, bloody at a couple of points. But yeah, really takes what you're like, subverts expectations in a nice way, like you would want to have from a horror movie. That's in that's actually pretty basic. Interesting. Like the cast was good. Setup was great. It's about like teenagers in, I think, the 80s that go on a metal concert, and there are these satanic killings going around, and everyone is like tying it to the metal scene and like the satanic music, this whole satanic panic stuff. And it plays around with this idea, and it's good. So it's not a great movie, but it's good. And yeah, I've really been looking for something to watch. I need to get back home. I'm watching so much stuff here, and I really, I'm really getting to the limit of stuff I have still on my list to watch that I can access here. So I started watching Vikings on Amazon Prime, and it's surprisingly not very good. It's, I don't know, it feels like it's trying to be like this Northman Game of Thrones, and it's not succeeding at all. It's I mean it's the good thing about it. It's not as like ruthlessly gory and bloody and uncomfortable to watch, but I couldn't connect with any of the characters, and maybe it's because it's Vikings. I don't have like I don't like Vikings that much. They are so boring somehow. They don't have anything. I mean, I get like zombies, I get ninjas, pirates, cowboys, but Vikings somehow they don't do it for me. I don't know. And yeah, it's a pretty, I don't know how accurate it is. I really tried. I watched 6 episodes. I think each episode is like 45 minutes or so. And every episode I was like, oh man, is it still going? Or it's gonna be finished now. Well, nothing better to do, so maybe the next episode is a little bit better. But no, didn't really get any. I think it got a little bit better, but not enough for me. I think it's got like 6 seasons. It's finished though, but nah. So, but now let's get to the good one.
Before you get to the good one, the only thing I want is the blacksmith outfit on Mandalorian. That's all I want. If it's Viking, I love that fur, and I love a touch of red like that. So yeah,
that looked pretty rad. That's
yeah.
true. I mean, I just like went on and on. You don't have anything to say about We Summon the Darkness or Vikings, right? You haven't seen that?
No, I haven't seen either.
No.
I saw one with the blonde guy, I think, who's supposed
Ragnar.
to be.
He's called Ragnar.
Isn't he the guy that pulls the sword from Arthur?
That's Arthur, yeah. King Arthur.
No, I thought I saw him acting somewhere, but whatever.
Okay, now I get it. What you?
Um,
I know he's certainly the best, like in terms of actors there. I
yeah,
mean, they are all good. I think it's not the actor's fault. I think there's something missing there. I'm not too, I don't know, movie like industry enough to really tell you what's going on there. But I couldn't connect with any of the characters.
Yeah. But when you first said Vikings, I was thinking of Black Sails. Because those shows are kind of the same to me.
made in South Africa, Black Sails.
Is it?
Yeah, Cape Town.
I was interested in that, but I only watched 2 episodes and it was so boring, so I didn't watch it. But I've seen some chatter around that it's apparently good. So at first I was like, "Oh, you watched that? You can tell me if it's good." But no, it's the other one.
Yeah. No,
So give that a shot next.
And, Black Sails, all of them are kind of.
It's so blah.
That's why they. I don't know. At some point, That's why they are on television. They're not good enough to be anything else except we've got a budget, and by the way, a budget being let's go to South Africa. It's cheaper to produce from there. You've got all the seasons there and the whole lot. But there's just, it's like Harry Potter and the graphics, that they didn't.
The bad CGI.
The bad CGI. I was even questioning what that was. Was it made in America or was it made by British? For the Brit, like there was just something missing when it comes to the grade of the product, and same goes with those ones. The Vikings, I think I saw. The thing I remember was them volunteering to die. I think it might have been the first season.
Yeah.
And then the other one saying, I think we need to go to this direction, not the other direction.
To the west.
Yeah. that was pretty much it. And that didn't interest me because, again, that's not my history or anything. Yeah.
The CGI in Harry Potter is made by Industrial Light and Magic, so the George Lucas company. And I think the question is always money.
Yeah.
And that has always confused me about them because Industrial Light and Magic has done Jurassic Park, which still looks great today. And then 2 years later, Spawn. And I have never seen anything as terrible as Spawn. Like, I don't even... Have you seen Spawn?
Have I seen Spawn?
It's like a black superhero.
I have seen
And the end scene in Hell, when he's the devil, who's not even animated properly when he talks, and it looks like... You remember that Windows 95?
Oh, God.
What?
Let me see. I didn't see that. Oh, is it reverse?
Oh, it's a
the
VHS.
Spawn video.
Nice. Keep it.
I bought it in England, yeah. I still got two VHS tapes. This is that, and then I've got Superman.
Nice.
That's some cool stuff.
That's good. It's Superman 2.
No, it didn't look attractive at all. So
It's so bad. I
okay.
love
This looks like a 13-year-old's.
Yeah, the thing is, like, you remember in Windows 95, they had this 3D maze screensaver, where the camera would like go through like a Doom-like level, and it looked like that quality. So they went from realistic dinosaurs to that trash 2 years later. The 2 years of advancement, and that's what they produce. So it has to be money.
Yeah, no, the assistant of the assistant.
Did they even use the same name? Like that I didn't create another company for the bad stuff.
No.
Anyway, what's the good one?
Yeah.
Tell us what. Oh, the great one. Now we know it's the great one.
So I mean, it's been, I don't know how long, because I've been watching so many TV series. But this is certainly the first one I was clapping at the end of the first episode. And it's Ash versus Evil, or Ash versus Evil Dead.
Is it good?
The follow-up to the Evil Dead trilogy, to Army of Darkness, and it's basically Army of Darkness, but better.
Nice.
He's still got it. He's this character. He's this goofy asshole, somehow capable of dishing out immense damage, and like they really improved on the creepiness. They improved on the gory effects, but it's not like uncomfortable goriness, which I don't like. I know there's an Evil Dead remake, and I've heard, I haven't watched it, that it's really, really uncomfortably gory, like stuff that you don't wanna. But this is just like exploding heads, people getting impaled. I only watched the first episode, but I've heard only good stuff. I think it's got 3 seasons. On Rotten Tomatoes, they all got like 100%. And the first episode, I was laughing out loud, or like really gripped by the horror of it. It was perfect. It was really perfect. I think it's better than the movie. I'm really looking forward to watching more of it.
Nice.
I heard it's a wild ride. It's really wild, and the characters are great. It's just perfect.
Nice. Yeah, I saw that exists, but I was like, that's probably a terrible cash in. But
Yeah.
that sounds good then.
Yeah, I thought that too. And despite like people recommending it to me, that I kind of think no, but one of them also recommended the Viking show. But my friends were all like, it's a good show, you gotta watch it. And I was always like, it can't be as good as the movies, or I don't know how good the movie really was, because it was just so long ago. And do I really still have this? It's really immature humor. God, my English is dying here. It's very, very crass humor.
Immature humor.
But yeah, turns out it's great fun. It really knows what aspects of the movie were fun, and cranked that up to 11. Like the ridiculousness of how who's the main actor dude called, who plays Ash?
What's his face? And I even was thinking the name a minute ago. It'll come to me.
Ash versus Evil. Well, they really nailed him.
Bruce?
Like the character Bruce. Yes, Bruce Campbell.
Yes.
He's perfect. He's still got it. He's even more ridiculous than he was before, and it all works. It's a perfect series. At least the first episode is. But as much as I can tell from looking at the ratings and the recommendations, it's gonna stay good.
Nice.
So recommended. Amazon Prime. 3 seasons, every episode, I think like 30 or 25 minutes long. That's what I'm gonna watch today and tomorrow and on Sunday.
Nice.
Well, apart from Harry Potter, now that we're talking, and I just remembered, my type of stuff that I don't mind watching, just the perfect touch was Doctor Sleep. Just the right amount of everything was just, it was a marvel to watch, except of course the ending was like, okay, wow, I was expecting more, but just enough. It was cool. I like the reenactment. like that they went through so much to reenact and just have it spot on. So that's cool.
Yeah, I think that's a good comparison. Like they really managed to continue where they left off with the movie, and that's what Ash vs. Evil does too. Like really, the continuation of the movie is just perfect.
Yeah. Then on the side, we're watching Will and Grace just for laughter. And I keep on saying, oh, I've seen that. I remember that little bit. And I remember that. And then obviously I haven't seen it I haven't seen it. I haven't in a long time. Just a long, long time.
Mm.
And just having fun. So if I'm having a bad day or something, I just watch that. That's like 3 or 4 episodes will cure. Yeah, and we do have our cringe moment. Well, they're not much. Yeah, but it still holds up.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I was never into Will and Grace very much, but that was just because that face and
What?
yeah, it was. I mean, I was into sitcoms, and then like there came all these new sitcoms, and I was like, no, they are different. They are. I don't know. I don't know if I like them. I don't think I can like them. They're just too new. Yeah, so
Is it
that's
because they're
that.
gay?
I don't think that was it. But how's the representation? Because I thought I've seen like a YouTube video about representation of gay people, and they mentioned Will and Grace, but I completely forgot what it was about. So I assume it's good.
It's good for the time. Let's call
Good
it
for the
that.
time.
It's obviously not very diverse. It obviously plays with stereotypes, and it is, I think, in places a touch transphobic. I mean, so far only like 1 or 2 like throwaway jokes have come up in that, so we'll see how the rest is. We're only in like season 2 so far. But yeah, for the time, I think it was revolutionary to have like a show about gay people. So, and it is still very funny. I think overall, so far, I would say it's pretty solid.
Again, they've never been serious about anything. As far as I remember, not to even try and touch into anything to do with, the community itself, like HIV or how, like, I don't remember it being that serious. It's just about, and of course it's not Schitt's Creek, which is awesome and nothing compares, but I guess because we didn't have anything else we need some comic relief that doesn't try to remind us of anything, just is, and where we can actually forgive ourselves for watching something like that and not have to think about it that much that, they did. I mean, take Harry Potter, for instance. To find out that Giant is, what's his name again? The big...
Hagrid?
Hagrid in real life is something else. Gary Oldman in real life is... We had like cancel culture in virtually...
Wait, Gary Oldman was cancelled?
Gary Oldman also has accusations of domestic abuse and anti-Semitism and a bunch of stuff. So it's
things just ruin stuff. But to know that we are watching, who did you say, Karen's? What's the old?
Ron Swanson?
Yeah, to watch Ron Swanson's wife and then be fine with that, like it's okay. So sometimes you don't want to think about that, and that's really where we escape.
Yeah, Will and Grace is not an issues show, and I think they try to do that in the reboot or in the continuation or whatever they're doing with that. Like a couple of years ago, they started it up again. and they try to make issues episodes, and it is that like really wrecked it for me because they have like this. It's pure centrism, basically. There's this one episode where they reference the whole cake thing of shops refusing to do cakes for gay couples and stuff like that. And Grace is like standing up for gay couples, but then some guy comes in and wants a swastika cake, and then Grace must defend him too, because free speech goes both ways. And it pisses me off so much when white people don't understand that fascism is literal violence and not at all the same as people just being themselves. So yeah, we're not gonna watch that. We're just gonna stick to the non-political things that they do, because clearly they have no idea about anything. I don't want to hear their politics about anything.
I've heard like a great comparison slash explanation for people who were offended by Twitter banning Trump, saying, just imagine Trump is a gay wedding cake and Twitter is a baker.
Exactly. Pisses me off so bad.
What pisses you off? Twitter?
Twitter.
Twitter
Twitter in
used it in a
general.
while, but you want to go into that?
Huh? Nah. Fuck Twitter. No, we're having a happy episode. A happy episode about nonsense.
And I don't know what you guys are talking about.
I just realized that the episode is called The Boys Who Lived, yeah. So that includes my mom, who's one of the boys.
Yes, everybody lived.
Nice.
Trump had a Twitch account.
What?
That was streaming
I didn't know
Fortnite
that.
or what? Screaming at the kids. I've got the best aim.
I just found out that the Orange Man just had a emergency button for Diet Coke. So Biden removed that button. Like, imagine nuclear, and then bam, Diet Coke. It's just like...
So that's what that was about. I saw jokes about it, but I thought it was just jokes. Like, I didn't realize that was a thing.
No, apparently people then found out, because the news just said Biden removes the Diet Coke button, and people are only just finding out about it now. So obviously Twitter just went crazy on it. It's like, oh my God, no, what was that man doing?
I also enjoyed the Bernie Sanders memes that are going around.
Yeah, no.
He's got such a nice following. He just needs to sit there and people are going crazy.
Well, Biden is also not doing great. Him shouting at a guy, a reporter, saying, "Give me a break, man." Like his usual, when he can't answer something or he's got his amnesia going on or something, he just like, yeah, I don't know. He just blows off once in a while.
Poor guy. Man, he really tried.
Yeah. Well.
Anyway.
Enough about old men.
Yes.
Old white men.
Yes. So I think what we're gonna watch this weekend, while we're at that, is gonna be Deaths. Because this one hasn't seen it yet.
You're in for a treat.
Am I?
Yes.
Yes, you are.
Yes. Very much. One of the best things I've seen in recent years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
Will that give me a clue, an insight into what happens in your lives?
Maybe. I mean, as so far that we've seen it.
Do you guys identify like very much? What's the scale?
Well, let's see. It's gonna be...
No, I need scales from you if you've seen it.
10.
10, absolutely.
Oh, okay.
100%.
Without hesitation.
Not even a question.
Just rewatched, what's it called? Annihilation with my dad.
Nice.
And my dad is kind of tough to watch movies with. I noticed he's really a harsh critic. He's all the time. He's just sitting there waiting for something to say. That's not realistic. No, they wouldn't do that. Why are they women? And like, Dad, come on.
Killjoy. I
Why
like that.
they? We watched Kong,
Nice.
and he was like, these American movies, they always try to put in like a character of every kind, like of every race in there. They just force it in there. And I'm just like, that's like the American military in the 60s. So of course there are black people. But there's an Asian too. And like, yeah, why not? That's
Okay, that just turned into something else.
Yeah, he's not. My dad is. He's old. He's not. He's very, very unconsciously racist, and he feels like the change coming, and he's against accepting that he's doing something wrong, that he needs to change too. As I was, so I get that, but it's tough to sit there with your dad and think, oh man, I think we have to talk again. Yeah, but he really enjoyed Annihilation. Just a great movie, and it's the same director, right?
Yeah.
From Devs. That's how I
You see
got
it,
to
right?
that.
Yes.
And he even said,
I
if
don't
you
know.
have like another movie like this, tell me. I want to watch it. That's how good it was. Then I went with Kong because I thought like he needs something a bit more silly to have just fun with. It was the day we learned that the operation was fine. So he he was one beer after another just to get down again from all the stress. I had fun with this too. It's unfortunate that King of Monsters isn't anywhere to be watched. Godzilla, King of Monsters. I really want to watch this.
I don't know. Maybe you should have watched Queer Eye.
Oh, that he wouldn't stay in the room. He would get I think he really couldn't take this. He would. I mean, he works with like transgender people. He has a colleague who's transgender, and he's fine with that. He's not really like offended, but he's kind of he doesn't really, it doesn't really compute for him. It's like, it's kind of weird. Why does she wear like women's clothes and try to talk in a high-pitched voice, although he can see that that's not a woman, but he doesn't, it's okay for him. If he wants to do this, he will use her pronouns, everything, but he just can't understand it. My hope is just that he just needs more time than I did, because I needed time too. So trying to be a good influence without like going on their nerves, because when I start getting preachy with him or my brother, who's got like different problems, but like samey, because as I said, like I had a problem too. Like getting preached at, that's not working. They're going in the defense immediately, and then you can't talk with them. It's just like and I mean, I see Crabman smiling knowingly, having to talk with me about that stuff. They immediately go on this logical and like they are not on this layer, like this logical layer, or like on your speech pattern layer. And if you just you make just one little mistake, you say one word instead of the other, they will just make fun of that. They will just go into let's have some fun. I don't want to discuss anything. It's really exhausting. It's really exhausting, and they're just trying to be right or like prevent you from proving they are wrong. You can't tell my family that anything they do is wrong, and it goes to ridiculous amounts. Like I asked my brother if we can watch Amazon Prime on the TV, and he was no. I said like, are you sure? Because he was like, no. Really, really aggressively, and I said, but the TV's got an HDMI input, right? So I could just hook it up with my laptop, and then I can watch Prime there, right? It's got HDMI, right? And he was like, yeah. And so I can watch Amazon Prime on the TV. No, because he meant you can't watch Amazon Prime with the integrated TV software. And although he knows that I'm now talking about something else, he can't admit that there was an error, that he was wrong, that he didn't really understand what I said.
On another day, I would love to know how. Firstly, I feel for you, man. I feel for you. 2 is I would love to know how that like city boy or different location come back to home, and then how that makes you feel, like that you see yourself, that you've changed, and you see a different part of things, and you compute differently than the folks at home that are not as soft or as willing to change. One day you're coming back, so I'm curious about that. I don't think we can talk about it now here.
Well, sure.
If we have
It's
what's the topic today? I don't even know what the topic is.
The topic was Harry Potter. We already breezed through that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I'm basically Harry Potter coming back from the school, meeting his foster parents, but in my case, they are my real parents, I think. It's definitely weird because I feel, on the one hand, I feel like when I came back, I took a step back and I just didn't really communicate all these changes. And then when I really stopped like getting into it, like on the second day, I got like pretty open resistance. And then my dad even said like, you have just been away for too long. You don't know how we talk here. And I try to help them understand that they are not really able to talk about their feelings, to really express it, and to that they really like. If you show weakness, they will jump onto it and make fun about you, and really harshly. So, but the idea is like we love each other. Everybody knows that. We don't have to talk about this. We are all loving and accepting. That's why we can make fun about each other, about everything, and it's just good old fun. And I don't know if I'm just like different, but or if I really went soft, like being away. But I see my dad like they bicker at each other. Like it starts out as fun, but as soon as like one of them is a bit annoyed or a bit tired, they get really aggressive with each other, and they shout at each other, and it's still like it's like if you don't hear like if you would just see it written, there's no difference between the making jokes and being like seriously offended and discussing with each other. And I try to make them understand that, like, if you are annoyed already, don't get back at me with some quippy joke that attacks me, and so I get back at you, but you are annoyed already, and then we, it's schaukelt sich hoch. Yeah, it just builds up
Escalates.
and up. Yeah, but I'm trying, and I think that the second problem is like my confidence, because I'm not really confident with everything I know. I feel the need to explain everything and to like be understood by them, and I think at least I'm now trying to be. I'm just like giving them the example. Like I'm not doing what they are doing, and I'm telling them if they're doing something annoying or if they're like getting on each other's nerves. I just tell them. I don't explain anything anymore. I'm not trying to convince anyone. I'm just like hoping that like with time they'll get it. But I also know that I'll get that I get back in this rut, that I start to do the same things again. So yeah, it's time for me to go back to Leipzig.
Wow. I identify with that type of life, where you get back into a whirlwind of, that type of escalation and arguments that come from, oh, you don't understand certain things, or you don't understand me, so yeah, wow.
Or even if they understand me, they are going out of their way to make it sound that they are not. Like that's just part of the fun, like misunderstanding you intentionally. But there's no difference. You can't know if they misunderstand you intentionally or they really misunderstand you. That's aggravating. That's like killing the communication. Yeah. But can I imagine that you feel that? I mean, must be weird for you too, right? I mean, living at home and then like going out, DJing somewhere, doing events and stuff, and then coming back, or now going to Germany for a couple of months and then coming back. What's that like?
Yeah, no. With the COVID, it was the first time I've spent with my family longest. I usually, and again, my sobriety makes things. I tend to relive certain traumas. Again, you mentioned confidence about certain things. That I was never big on arguments, but and maybe standing up for myself. But for some odd reason, I guess towards the end, it's been one of those where, I just couldn't. Something had to give. So with therapy and wanting better for myself, is that I started looking at things in a different way. That when they go a certain direction of taunting, of trying not to understand you even though they do, and you wiggle your way and you push the same force, it started being different. It was the other way, and only because things were in limbo for those 10 months. Can't exactly go and look for a place. You can't exactly do anything. You're just sitting there waiting. And mine has been there for a long time. My going to a different school, as prescribed for the rest of my family. I'm the last born, so I went to a multiracial school, and
Wait, how is that? What's the reasoning there? And
Black
what
people
does
weren't allowed to.
multiracial school even mean in
Black
South
people weren't
Africa?
allowed to interact with white kids in school, for instance. So there was always segregation. And then private schools could have black and maybe 2 blacks in one school, the rest is white, if you can afford it. But then somewhere along the line in the 90s, they opened up for black kids who can afford it, or, somehow. And the government could subsidize some black kids
Scholarships and stuff.
to go to a multiracial public school or private school.
Yeah, it's done again.
Back. I'm nearly back. I'm sorry. What?
So a multiracial school just means
I'm back.
integration, racial integration. And of course, the more the white parents found out, depending on how expensive the school is, there's still those major schools that have the whites as majority and then the blacks as minority. And the price is obviously ridiculous, fees wise. And then there's the medium schools where you can afford how much? 1,000 euros per. I don't know. Maybe it's more now. Maybe 2,000 euros per annum. Yeah. Then your child can go there. No books, no nothing. Just your child can go there. And then, yeah. So I had half and half. I had half of going to a then called Bantu school, which means school for black people. And most of the things, it's terrible education, curriculum. Whether you get the books or not, that's another story. Totally different ways of corporal punishment. And then this side, it was just detentions and stuff like that. So had both worlds, and both worlds meant personality split because of how one was raised and how one is taught. So those things were clash completely. So my life has just always been that type of a clash that by the time I get to marrying a Caucasian man,
Crustacean, please.
Okay.
You said it sound nicely, Caucasian.
Yeah. That's it's
But so last born, you got into in a better school than your siblings, or in a worse school?
no better schools. I've been to like almost 12 schools in my life.
12 schools.
Well, trying to find a better education. Landed up in a private school where sometimes you have to get an aptitude test.
Okay.
That you either are taken back because you don't understand English or certain things that your prior education. Yeah, so it's always been grading and grading and grading, all types of things. I started having.
You had a new school every year.
Well, not like that. It didn't happen like that. But counting schools, there was a time where I was waiting to be accepted in a certain school, and the township schools were open. And my mom wouldn't have it that I would stay at home not knowing my fate. So I went to a school for 6 days and received the stationery and registered and the whole lot, but didn't go there. Ended up going into the school that I was accepted in.
Okay.
So yeah, it's just at some point I went to a Xhosa speaking school for maybe a month or so, and they said I need to find a Zulu speaking school because I will not be able to catch up on all the Xhosa stuff. So yeah, it's just been
Crazy.
a roller coaster of looking for schools. No suspensions, anything. So I eventually went to it's not that exciting. Eventually went to a Catholic school.
Oh,
Yeah.
so that's the corporal punish school, huh?
Huh?
Catholic
No,
school.
no, 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 no. That's not a corporal punishment. Their punishment came in so many ways through Jesus Christ and the Lord and God.
So they're waiting for the latest day. You will
Yeah,
be
no.
punished if Jesus comes back.
I didn't get that.
Mm. They're waiting for the punishment at the end of days.
Yeah, my penance.
You'll
Yeah,
be punished if Jesus comes back.
yeah, my
when
penance.
Jesus. Repent, yeah.
Just wait till Jesus comes home, then you'll get it.
What I'm just trying to say is my personality split has been so hectic that by the time I get home, I misunderstood in so many ways that there's culture clash, there's all kinds of things. So whatever I want most of the time was achieved outside my house, outside my home family ideals, because there's no ways that we would have just there's certain things that it took them a certain time to grow out of, totally different upbringing, that when I do go back home, there's something called white tendencies. It's something that we dubbed as friends who have had the privilege of going to private schools and multiracial schools, that you are then your way of thinking, your opinions, your lifestyle, your whatever is
Way of
deemed.
talking. Like this is code switching stuff.
Say
Right?
that again.
Code switching, like different ways of talking.
Yeah, there was different. There was
Is that right? Did I get this right? I think I heard about this.
The term exists, but I think what you're talking about is less that you speak like a white person, but that you come with
Behavior.
something like don't treat me like this and that, and or like being defiant or whatever, you know.
So
anything goes, then that's then white tendencies.
So my I don't know how to. We don't get hugs at home. Nobody tells us that they love us, but you start missing that. You start wanting to hear that. You start suggesting it, and it becomes a, what are you talking about? And then, of course, the main thing is television, American television, British television. You see white people hugging. You see white people talking to their kids and referring to them, family meetings and opinions and stuff like that. And you know.
Yeah, the hugging is here too. I mean, I hug my mom, and she loves to hug with, like, we hug, not often, but every once in a while. If she comes back from the hospital, she's getting a hug, and she likes it. But
my mom is.
When I was like really discussing with my dad, because he was like, told him something he didn't want to hear, and then he got like defensive really much. But I stayed like, I didn't like waver. I kept on my opinion, and then like I gave him some time to cool off, and then I told him like pretty much what you did to me, Graham. If you remember it, was okay. Come on, I still love you. It's just like this what you've done. That's bullshit. You know it's bullshit. So let's hug it out. And then I hugged him, and he was like, "Oh, you're turning into one of them."
Wow.
He's not used to hugging. Yeah. It's just hugging is for coming home and going away. If you are family, that's when you hug. And like with my brother, it's exactly with the what's the show? Gravity Falls, the awkward sibling hug. So we hug each other, then we hit each other on the back like 2 times, dum dum, and then we let go. That's it. That's the awkward sibling hug we give each other, but only if we like meet for the first time. Like, when I come down and when I go back up again, that's the when we hug.
You know what? I think on my 8th month, I was missing a hug, a kiss, a touch, and eventually asked my brother that I really want a hug. And this was in like my body collapsing type of a thing, very dramatically. So I was feeling sick. And I asked my brother to hug me. And my mom was there, and we were in the kitchen. My mom is like the queen. There's no, you don't hug, you don't kiss, you're not affectionate.
Always 10 paces away, so you can't
Yeah,
overthrow another man.
yeah. So, so she scoffed at the idea, and my brother, who we also don't hug, we have our own way of talking to each other, which is minimal, but it works for us. He gave me a hug, and I wouldn't let go until he kind of relaxed into it, until he stopped being awkward. That it was awkward for my mom, who left the room. But it was.
My children are hugging. What did I do wrong as a mother?
Yeah, and that's the weirdest thing. She worries that if she dies, him and I are not gonna talk. And that's not true. We always tell her that him and I are fine. We have our own way. We talk. It's not the way she wants it to be. But yeah, whatever. So yeah, I have white tendencies. I have a white husband. I have
ideas about affection.
Yes, I have ideas. I mean, yeah, when I was young, knowing about Freud.
We three should start a band called White Tendencies.
Yeah.
You'll be the front woman.
Yeah, no, I preached on her once, telling her how cold she is, and I had just read Oedipal Complex. Well, found out a little bit of passage. I've never read a Freud book. I have them, but I've never read them. She was like, there you go with your... That time it wasn't my tendencies, just those science books of yours. Those... there you go with your biology books. Right? Huh?
Such a resistance to progression, to change in general.
Yeah, I mean, the only book is the Bible, I guess. So... Nah, it's weird like that. So I identify with you having to come back to... Yeah, and I've never spent as much, a long time. Again, being drunk, I told you I did couch surfing very well. And it would be party mode, it would be at my own place. Just never home enough to realize how affected I am with certain things, and always jolly, because could always get a drink the following day, or smoke some doobie, or take some other white powder or shit like that. I don't know, whatever worked. But yeah, that doesn't happen now. I had to face the music.
Well, how's your experience, Crabman, coming home as a little Harry Potter?
No, I don't like going home. I mean, I can't talk to my parents because they're like very, very, very much committed to the idea that they've never done a single thing wrong in their lives. And it is just all the more frustrating to try and then just get completely shut down. And like with not even a thinking about it and then eventually admitting to anything kind of thing, just completely nothing. If anything, a doubling down, like we should have been worse type of thing. Like that's what I get to hear. So I don't try because I don't want to make the effort and then just walk away worse. Like my sister has tried it. And somehow it doesn't compute for my parents that all their children ending up in the psych ward might say something about something. But yeah, she's tried, and all she got back was, I think my dad said something like, I have nothing to, how to translate that properly? Ich habe mir nichts vorzuwerfen. So like I have nothing to feel sorry for, basically. That was his takeaway after she poured her heart out, and so I'm not gonna try. It's like he's committed to being an idiot. So and that's at the same time I also don't want to pretend like I mean we're like cordial. I'm like it's fine. Like I'm not having, but it's hard to quantify because at the same time I would say it's not so bad. Like we get along in some degree. We can talk about some things like movies and whatever. But at the same time I am having a horrible time because I am kind of sitting there just waiting for it to be over. And the more we pretend everything's fine, the more rotten it feels. And yeah, at the same time I can do nothing about it because I don't want to get into that at all. And so it's always a horrible experience. It's gotten worse in recent years because the more I start to understand about myself and where all my trauma and all the weird coping mechanisms that I have, where all of that stuff comes from, the more basically I understand the depths of it, the less I can pretend that things are okay. And that makes it then kind of a very difficult thing to navigate. Also because it isn't as obviously bad as it may sound from that description. I mean, both of you have been around my parents. I'm sure that looks like everything's fine.
Yeah, but I did always like notice that the more I was like, everything's like easygoing, we're having fun, the more like silent you become. And yeah.
No, because I get to like zone out. That's why I like going not alone. When other people are there, then I can just do me. I don't have to like convince them that things are fine, so they don't ask me about it. I mean, they're used to me not talking. I basically stopped talking to them when I was 15 or something.
Yeah, my parents never asked me how I feel. Now that you're not thinking about it.
Or no, they don't do that ever either. Like that's one of those things where they just don't acknowledge basically. Like I mean, that's the thing that's hard to explain because yes, obviously they know I exist and they care I exist and they occasionally ask, don't we want to come by and they never see us and stuff like that. And at the same time having like zero interest. It's this weird thing, like I mean you've noticed this when we when they go away and we like want to take over the house or whatever. Like even when they like literally ask, can someone house sit for us? And they never once speak to us about their plans. It's just, these are our plans, adapt to them, and then they change them 15 times with not a single thought to like communicating that or asking, does it work for you? Like never once am I asked, does this work for you, right? There's some surface level stuff, like, I mean, they ask me, how are you doing? So that's so that's sort of the type of small talk. But beyond that, there's just like a shocking lack of interest. It's self-involvement, basically.
Or like intimacy. Like, that's something I have with my parents too, that I find like a little bit disturbing now. That it's always this small talk level.
Yeah.
That every time I try to get deeper into anything, I don't know if they are not equipped to really like talk about it, or they're not like really conscious enough, or like they feel weirded out by feelings. I can't tell. And like listening to you, I think I have to do my thing, and I feel for your parents. I feel for my parents, for your mom or your parents. I mean, I don't know your dad, Bali. That I don't think they're probably just not equipped. But it's still frustrating that they're not willing to progress, to change anything, to really, listen.
The thing is in the attitude. None of us were equipped with any of this stuff. But you can make the decision to try. And they make the decision not to try. And that's where my sympathy ends.
But we have completely different media landscape. Like we learn a lot from the people we are around, from the media we consume. We've gone to therapy, and they haven't. And the opposite, like they only consume the old school media, like the stuff where you're as a man, you're not supposed to talk about anything.
Let me give you an example. My brother's gay. I am whom I am. I went out with women for a long, long time. And never to. When I was growing up, I guess because he's older, she would shrug things. By the way, she got married and had 3 kids. And so there's no half brother, half sister, half anything. Those are my brother and my sisters. My 2 sisters passed away, and then now it's my brother and I. And it goes like I'm the last one after the divorce with a musician who's since passed away. And then my sister who passed away, my brother, and my older sister both passed away. Now, with us left, we'd never had to kind of come out. We didn't have to explain that. There was an innate denial from my mom because she knew the truth. She denied it from television. She denied it from real life. I once asked her what derogatory name in Zulu, pretty much like F word in Zulu, what that meant, because people were talking about my brother, calling him that name. And she scolded me and told me not to mention that. That's not even to try and make me understand what that was. From a family where kids are to be seen and not heard, and no opinions, no questions asked, no nothing, just believe, and that's it. So throughout the years, it used to be anything about LGBTQI plus on television, just change, swap the channel, anything, everything and anything that had to do with that. But for the past 10, no more than that, through television that she watches, and it's even worse, she's retired. And I understand your parents may not spend a lot of time watching television.
Oh, they do. I mean, I don't know how much is much, but that's their, like, except like reading. That's what they do. TV and reading. That's how they relax.
Yeah, but if I want to hook up with my mom, I hook up with her
Wait.
watching Kim Kardashians. I've never known about Kim
You wanna
Kardashian.
you wanna hook up with your mom? I'm sorry.
Yes, I want to hook up with my mom. Well, maybe trying to reach out in the days that I'm never at home, and maybe like, oh, hey, I go and see her, and she's in front of the television, dreaming away, and doesn't watch movies. We used to watch a lot of movies. Now it's kind of long. Memory span takes too much, so she watches these reality shows which she loves, as women beat each other up and tear each other's clothes and call each other bitches and stuff like that. It's just all over the place, right? And that reality show, she loves those things, and through all of that, she's changed. She changed so much that she's the one to say, oh, look at that man, he's gay. Oh, don't say that word. Don't talk about these things. I believe in change. If anything, if I've ever seen it in one person who's born in a generation that is not ours, there is some sort of change. It's just they choose whatever they want to change, because there's certain things that still today, when it comes to my mom, women are the wrongdoers of everything. It's all their fault. Gays and lesbians are accepted because she's had to kind of come to terms with it, from us, from the community, from what she's seen, from the people that come to see. My brother used to throw these parties, so they're there. The gays and the lesbians, they're just there. So there's no ways that you would say, I can't do this. My son is just, we're living our lives without being asked. That again, I'm fortunate not to be asked anything. But, so there is change. I'm just saying that I believe in that. Whatever it is that these people, the older they get, doesn't mean that there isn't room for like major, why am I talking like the orange man? Like major change. I almost wanted to say tremendous, like he owns that word.
Tremendous change.
But there is big change.
Tremendous is his word now.
It is about admitting that you've done something wrong.
So yes, I think there's that. The world is changing around them, and they have many opportunities to like engage with things that they may have thought were scary or unnormal or something. But I think it's even more, for me, it's even more basic than that. Yes, we're given a certain tool set, we're given a certain understanding of the world and everything, but we are still able to make choices.
Yeah.
And like if I think back, like my dad was a very quick-tempered and an angry person when I was growing up. He's mellowed out now, he still has his moments, but he used to be basically randomly raging all the time. And I got a lot of that. Like I also, growing up, was a very angry person, would also explode when I fought myself. It's this weird thing where you feel like your survival is threatened because you're not good enough, type of thing. Growing up with that perfectionism and things like that. So things like this would make me angry. Basically, if someone told me I was wrong about something, I would get very angry. And the thing is, I knew that wasn't good. I mean, in the moment I exploded, because that was just what I knew. That happened almost automatically. And yeah, for a long time, I justified it. I would feel bad about it, but I would think, but yeah, the other person shouldn't have provoked me like this. And it was really, I think around when I was 20 or something, that I was like, okay, I don't actually feel good about what I'm doing. And I would like to change it. And it was a process. I would still explode, but after a couple minutes when I calmed down, I would go to the person I exploded at and be like, I'm sorry, this is why I exploded. And that became, the thing where I can now articulate that out of the gate without having to get angry. But it was still a choice I made. I was still primed in the exact same ways. But I was, at some point, I made the choice not to justify my bad feelings away, but to actually do something about it. And I feel like everybody's able to make that choice, but most people choose the easy way. And that is basically how I judge a person, what kind of choices they make. And my parents, for example, they don't want to engage with something that they also know is wrong. They're not stupid. They know it's wrong, but they choose the easy way of just hunkering down and saying, no, everything I did was right, and dying on that hill, basically. They make the choice to die on that hill. And that's why I judge them. Not because they did all the stuff to me in the first place. I know they were treated worse than I was. That's where they got all that shit from. But they didn't make the choice to try and do better. And they still don't want to. And that's the part where I'm like, that's why I don't forgive you. Because you don't want to.
But aren't they maybe afraid to admit that they've been wrong because of that? Because they feel like if they say, yeah, that's true, that then they have their whole self-image breaks down.
Absolutely. But that means that that's more important to them than me. They would rather protect themselves and keep hurting me than admit to something and work it out together. And that's the part where I'm like, okay, you do you, but also fuck you, and I don't want part of this.
I can't believe that that's really a function in their head. They're not really equaling this. They're not thinking either this or that.
I mean, of course, you don't do it like you sit down and make a list of these things.
It's not conscious.
To some degree. I mean, we've had... how did you feel over the last year or two when we would discuss things where we would vehemently disagree, and then, a couple months later you would say, oh yeah, actually, I wasn't doing that. You're saying now that you've moved on from some of the things that your parents still do. How have you, when you think back, how have you experienced when you were exhibiting these things? Were you completely unaware that there was something maybe not quite right going on?
A little bit, yeah, sure, for sure. I felt a little bit, but mostly it was anger, that really was over everything, and it really made it hard for me to realize what's going on underneath. Yeah, I mean, and I know, and I just I can't really damn anyone. I'm just I don't wanna, but I get you. I get that it's incredibly frustrating. I'm frustrated here with my parents, and I think they are a bit or a lot more mellow than yours. And even that's the weird part. The way I know your parents, they are really relaxed and friendly, and I it's just maybe that's the problem, that I can't really imagine. I mean, I can imagine that, but it's hard for me to lay these images above each other, right? To mesh this together, what you told me and what I can see, that's definitely true. And I mean, of course, I believe you. Why should you lie to me about stuff like that? And then how they appear. I mean, I feel that there's something beneath, and that they are always on the surface level with me as well. I don't know.
Can I say something?
The good people.
There was the first time I met his parents. Well, before I go there, right now there are people that I can't say my mom is a terrible person. too, because they don't see her that way. There's so-called friends of mine that I would never discuss what my mom is doing to me because they don't see her as that. My mom comes across, as you've met her, as the coolest person ever. Very chilled. No, I mean, funky.
I've seen her rage a couple of times where I thought like, yeah.
And no, she's actually again toned down through the years, where she's always loved dancing, and these are things, once you get over 65, you kind of like, or 60, you kind of like come down and you try to be happy again, and almost like 20s and stuff. So she's her sense of humor, the whole lot. It's just a lot of it left. So none of us see each other's parents as bad. They didn't do anything. They didn't raise us. We don't live with them 9 to 5, 7, 24/7 type of a thing. But first time I met his parents, his dad actually, the mom was freaking me out, but intensely freaking me out. The dad,
but
I
freaking out
started
in a good way, right? She was like trying to be as nice as possible.
Yeah, no. Everyone is very nice. Very nice.
She was not like, oh my God, there's a black person in my house.
Wow, no, I gotta give her props. There's a look that you look for someone who's disapproving of your son's girlfriend. And there's that look of race or of shock, of taken aback, not from her, not from his mom. It's kind of like you just know that it's okay. She was more happy that my son has got a girlfriend type of a thing. Like, boy, you brought your girlfriend here type of a situation, instead of, oh, you brought us a black person type of a thing. None of that. So let's disregard the race. There was nothing like that. There was, however, when I went back home and told my friends then that I think the dad is trying to, like, might be interested in me in another way than, like, I used to think, this, like, he's coming on to me, but in a weird way, because, but it just turns out that he's just trying to make himself look great. Now that I've known him, like, he's self-importance of some sort.
Oh yes.
And yeah, as soon as I got that out of, this guy is trying to, butter me up. What is he doing? Like, is he
projecting?
Like the other day, he was like, "Oh, you're trying." Like, I see a Grace Jones in you when my hair was shorter, and I was like, has he fantasized about Grace Jones or something? Like, weird stuff, But again, it's about him knowing.
Sorry for the images in your head.
Yeah, no, but it's about him knowing
who Grace
Jones is.
That was the point, right?
And till today, we had to lie last weekend. I had to lie. Now that I'm here, I'm probably the bait. I'm being asked out. I'm being, being invited to the house. And of course I can go on my own, but again, I don't want to go without him, and he doesn't want to go without the sister. So it's just like, it's worse. The mom doesn't speak English. I'm terrible at German as much as she is in English. So now I'm stuck with the dad. And I hardly ever speak when it comes to the dad. It's just him, and that's about it. So yeah. I get it. I can imagine it. I understand it like you would to another person, how their parents are. They just don't look the same. They look different from us, you know. Yes, I had silly thoughts, sick thoughts, but despite that, it was something else. And they don't know. They just they're there, they try. I see. I sometimes, the reason I wanted to say this is that I sometimes think they're doing good, but I don't know. So I would say something like, "Oh, come, let's go. They're trying to be nice to you, babe. You know, like let's do this thing."
But they've done the same thing with me too. I get invited as well, and then I tell him, and his mom is always like, "What?" When I tell him, Hannes is doing this and that, and then she's like, is he now? He never tells me anything. I always ask, but he never tells me anything. And I'm like, well, he barely tells me anything too.
Yeah.
I'm a private person.
So they try and reach out to him in different ways, and I am the biggest bait right now. Because I'm here, and despite that, we have our own separate relationship. But it's again, I take his side any day, as I should, unquestionably so. And
except you want to go with it dad now, right? Oh, sorry.
why go for the old when you can go for the the floor, the what, the 2000. I almost said it, but I fucked it
The
up.
new model.
Huh?
The newest model.
Yeah, why shouldn't I go with the 2000, the 2021 range? Yeah.
But yeah, just wanted to add that thought. The thing with them is they are very friendly people, and they're okay.
Yeah.
They're not aggressively horrible. They're just self-involved to the point that the only relationship they have with anyone is through their own. That's why they don't care about anything here, except how it relates to them. So that's the whole thing. They care about me in terms of being their son. They don't care what a person I am, what my thoughts and feelings on anything are. It's all just through the lens of themselves. So completely self-involved and frustrating.
What did the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air say? And Jazzy Jeff?
I can see that.
Parents ain't nothing but trouble. Yeah, no. If I told you mine, I still owe people for being in this world. So hey, like just for being born, I'm owing a parent something. So.
Well, you didn't choose to be born. You don't owe them nothing.
Tell that to the capitalist mother.
I will.
I will next time I see her. I will tell her.
Man. Guys, this just turned into another thing, but thank you for a therapeutic session. It was, needed once in a while.
And it was thematically on point. I mean, Harry Potter is also very much about being abused by your
everyone
parents or whatever
loves him.
That.
Oh my God! Everyone that pretends, everyone that wants his shine, everybody just wants to use him and for their own. Oh my God! And the man that he's been with. Oh my God! The old white man. Oh my God! All of them. They just come. Even the snake has got a problem with him. Everybody's just oh my God. So yeah. Poor white boy.
Poor rich boy.
Yeah, poor rich boy.
Who never had to pay for his books.
Yeah.
That seems to be a theme he always gets on I think he bought the first ones, and then he always gets it as a gift, or someone has some in a locker or something.
But he has enough money. He has a bank full of gold. So
And never helps his poor friends.
that's true.
So they pull themselves up by their bootstraps, right?
Yes, that's why he
The
didn't.
magical bootstraps.
That's why spoiler alert, like people like me who's never seen it, that's why he throws away the wand
Which one?
in the end.
Oh, instead of selling it.
And not even, instead of gifting it to a friend or something, I don't know, like, if I can't have it, none of you can have it, so, yeah.
Well, I mean, the point of that was that it's too...
Bossy.
It's not a good thing to have.
Yeah, no, whose decision is it for him to make?
It's his wand, so it's his decision, probably.
Ah, it was his wand.
It's like the one good call he makes this whole story.
Oh my god.
Anyway,
What are we gonna do?
well,
Once
we're gonna
done,
end
yeah.
this.
Yes.
What are we gonna do? I don't know. We'll figure it out. Yes, so that was fun.
Mhm. We lived.
I'm exhausted now. So, yes, thanks everyone for... Yes.
One last thing before we go.
Mm.
Currently, there is a charity event called Medic. It's on Invite Gaming's Twitch channel. I don't know, do we want to rate them? I don't actually feel like rating them. But it's running right now. That's the more important thing. I don't know, you can maybe show the website for a second? Or I'm just going to post it. Wait, let me just post this.
Yes.
So first of all, here is the website. And then let me see, copy link location. Here is the stream. They're running right now. They're playing marbles on Steam. And they're featuring, hey, look, the session plan. Oh, the grind. Yeah, right. You can't see this right now, but I do. So that's why I reacted so weird. Anyway.
Now it should be.
Right, so click on the session plan maybe. This is the website. It's going Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They have a couple of cool indie studios they'll be showing, and they are playing their games. They have them as guests, and I personally will be joining them on Saturday at 5 CET, showing off the wizard and raffling away a couple of keys. I don't know how we give out the keys, but we will. And so if you want to join us, we'll be happy. I'll be happy. But I think the other stuff is pretty fun too. So why not go over, look into it? I think it's a good thing. They're recent. I think they aren't really very experienced in the whole thing, but they are trying to do like a little local charity event. I think that's cool, and all the indies are also like local indies from around our area, so it's cool too. Nice. Everything's in German, so be mindful of that. But aside from that, it's a cool thing. You should
Sorry,
check
what
out.
are you saying? I shouldn't watch.
That's a content warning. German.
Yeah,
be gentle with yourselves.
I could surprise you and learn it in a weekend and by
Schnitzel.
What? Oh my God! Wait.
Yeah, that's it.
Jawohl.
Oh, very good. What? He says that's it and it's gone.
Oh, okay.
Let's
have him back to say bye.
Yes.
I'm back. Am I back?
Yes.
Yes, you're back.
I can see it, but yeah. I'm going to say I'm back. Yeah.
Okay, my friend. Until we meet again.
As always, lots of fun. Looking
Yes.
forward to coming back to Leipzig.
Give your mom a hug.
I will.
Not too much. Just like from us.
I will.
Okay.
I will
And
do.
give yourself a hug. Everyone a hug.
Okay. Oh,
Everyone
yeah.
gets a hug. Yeah,
Well, my
everyone
dad
gets
will
a hug.
probably not get one.
No, tell him I said I want a hug.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'm just gonna hug him from behind, so he has no chance.
That is just not fair for me.
Ninja
Why are
hug.
black people always in the back? We want the front.
All
Yeah.
right. Well, thanks for joining us. And
Yes.
we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I'm still